top story today. Now, once considered a staple for every Indian grandmom's routine, the traditional hair oiling, or champi as we call it here in India, often made 90s kids like us roll their eyes. Why is my mother dolling up oil on my hair right as I leave for school? Remember those weekends, however, though, when you would sit down with your mother or your grandmother, the magical oil concoctions that only they knew how were built, and then they would lecture you on and on about a healthy hair routine. Guess what? In today's fast-paced, very fast-paced world where trends are coming and going faster than the Mumbai locals as well, the age-old tradition of making champis, of having hot oil massages, are now making a glorious revival.
Hair oils are reclaiming their place in the spotlight, and for good reason. Now, you might be wondering, why this sudden resurgence in the interest of hair oils? Let's dive into this age-old Indian secret. We're going to speak to experts on the show today. We'll have all of them come join us, because on social media you actually have the hashtag hair oiling that's been spreading globally. You have videos of influencers, celebrities that are actually embracing and talking about their oiling routines. Not only that, you have the oiled bun that was styled in a New York Fashion Week show, the red carpet at the Cannes Film Festival. Think of it, oiling is very much in the Indian DNA. We've been doing these rituals for decades now. It's also very much a bonding exercise between generation to generation.
That's right. But you know, if you think about it, many practices of the Eastern cultures previously looked upon with confusion and disdain by the Western world are now being adopted and have become rather cool. If you asked any of the influencers promoting hair oiling on TikTok, even on Instagram, etc., they all talk about a certain hair oiling paths that they seem to be taking, and it's not just Indian ones. Look at that graphic on your screen. See how the Western world is waking up to this phenomena as well, and talking about the benefits of hair oiling. So on the program today, we will look at this hottest hair trend, hair oiling, and let's bring in our guests now. Joining us are women who deal with hair on a daily basis. We've got Vaishakhi Harya. She's a celebrity hairstylist. She is in the business of hair, as we say, has been dressing up the manes of several celebrities here in the country. Also with us is Radhika Iyer. She's an Ayurveda expert, and she will help us understand the more holistic approach to what a good old champi was all about, which seems to be getting a revival. Let me start with you, Vaishakhi. You know, a lot of us see celebs only in their glorious avatars. We don't know the kind of routines that they've been adopting back home. But maybe a little bit has changed over the past years because of social media and how personal it has become. Today, do you see more and more people, clients, celebrities are not waking up to it, coming to you and say that no, all these treatments aside, hair oiling is also essential?
Yes, it has been quite interesting recently, because people have now started understanding, and I'm a firm believer in our age-old rituals, because everything that our ancestors have done and laid some foundations on, I think it's very much backed by science, and now people are reading more about it, people are understanding the importance of it, and definitely demanding more of it. Yes.
Let's go over to Radhika also now for a little bit of context on which oils there are out there. Radhika, just walk us through the options and tell us where something like you have a Bringadi, for example, that's a concoction of a few oils. So how do we compare that to something more basic like a coconut or an almond when you're making your decision?
See, it's very important to understand where we come from. The Indic roots, Ayurveda is not something that you talk about now. Recorded history might be 5,000-7,000 years, but it's been going on for thousands and thousands of years. What is important to understand is that why do we use oil? Whether it is on your hair or whether it is in your body, whether it is in your nose, your navel, or your ear, simply because oil mimic the skin. They mimic the outer layer, the middle layer, and the bottom layer, which is the fat cells inside the skin. They mimic it, and they keep your body lubricated, moisturized, and hydrated. So it is very important to understand that something that our grandparents have been doing for such a long time who are we to decide whether it's good or not? You know, why it is important? Because it'll balance your doshas. It'll keep you calm. It'll keep you absolutely bonded with the loved ones, with even your own self. Because in Ayurveda, it's crazy. They talk about Abhyanga, where they talk about self massage. We are talking about self love, like big time right now. But self massage has been given importance in our culture for thousands of years. Oiling your hair or getting your hair oiled or getting your body oiled is a part of a healing process. It's more therapeutic, more mental, emotional than we can even fathom.
Hey, but Radhika, don't make it self, yeah. We still want somebody out there giving us that nice massage. Don't
I
make it to just
would.
doing it with your own hands. That just takes away all the fun and
It does,
all the
it
cool
does.
stuff out of it.
But
Yeah,
something is better than nothing. If you have nobody, please use your
yeah.
own self. Because in the end, when in an esoteric way, we're all talking about self-realization and self-awareness and, self-love. So this is just a part of that.
Yeah, sure. I get that. But Vaishaki, can I come to you next? Are there also certain people who should not be hair oiling or different hair types who should be more conservative about it? We keep talking about how every hair texture is different. What do you recommend to your clients?
There's something that's very important, which everybody needs to note. When we sensitize our hair with treatments like hair color, or when we have salon treatments which are being done on the hair, for such people, I always tell them that it's great to massage your scalp with oil, and you can use the hair oil which suits your hair type. But applying too much oil on sensitized hair can sometimes do the opposite, because the cuticles of your hair are open when you're sensitizing your hair, maybe color, keratin, smoothing, all these treatments that are done in the salon. So what happens here is when you apply too much oil, it really creates too much friction. Now, the problem is actually not applying the oil. The problem is when you want to wash out the oil. So you have to shampoo your hair maybe more than twice or thrice if the oil is very greasy. And during that process of shampooing it out, what happens is you tend to rip off the natural oils also off from the hair. So eventually, if your hair is heavily colored, maybe you have blondes or something, you will realize that when it's washed out, the hair looks and feels a little more frizzier than before. So I always say that if the hair is sensitized, it's better to massage the scalp, stimulate the blood circulation, and then wash it out in about maybe an overnight regime or maybe in 2 hours. But on the hair, it should be quite gentle.
Okay, let's also then, just to understand more here, Vaisakhi, you've just explained to us how we need to go about this. Radhika, tell us, you've said how hair oiling is so important, and it's not just hair oiling, you were actually talking about other practices like pouring oil into the navel. But I do want to ask, if audience members are going out there to the market, they're trying to decide which oil to put their faith in, how do they go about making that decision? We've always grown up with coconut oil, Parachute being the much celebrated oil choice. Now you have a number of other brands in the market, some touting Ayurveda benefits, cold press oils. There's a lot out there. So how do you suggest audiences go about it?
Listen, I think when it comes to ingesting something like oiling your navel or ear, the most standard thing you can do is coconut oil and ghee, A2 Girnar cow ghee. Beyond that, I do not think you should experiment on your own. Number two, it's always a great option to go for cold press oils simply because they are not exposed to any heat, they are not exposed to, any processing. So it's very, very good for you. Other than that, I feel that you talk to a proper consultant, a proper Ayurvedic doctor, or take the opinion of your elders in the family. And that will also help you a lot. Remember that oils are a combination of water and earth elements, especially almond oil, sesame oil, coconut oil, all of these, and castor seed oil. They're all amazing because what they do is they lubricate the skin and take care of the microcirculatory circuits in the body, within the body, whether it's your scalp, with your neck, whether it's hand, feet, limbs. So it's very important that you talk to a proper authorized person or talk to somebody in your family before you indulge. Also important to warm the oil. It makes a huge difference. So people who have excessive oil, in their hair follicles, warming the oil and applying just a little bit of it, you know, makes a huge difference. There are hundreds and thousands of ways. In fact, uh, Ayurvedic texts have dedicated an entire book on just oils and their types and how they can be used, you know. So it is a very, very
Yeah.
deeply researched subject, which we have just, kind of grown up listening to and experiencing. Now you see that more and more people are not interested in oiling, and I've seen this trend for the past 15 years. I remember a lot of Western companies coming here and telling us that oiling was bad and shampooing was good and all of that. And now the same companies are introducing oils, you know, to apply in your scalp. So we as a consumer, whether it is from outside or whether it is from our own country, we need to be aware because it is our time, our energy, our money. And I think it makes a huge
Yeah.
difference to please put the buck where the cake is, and don't experiment.
Yeah.
Our ancestors have experimented enough. If you're confused about everything, castor oil, coconut oil, and ghee are the most neutral tridoshic oils and lubricants that you can use.
Yeah, that's a good point there, Radhika. They don't experiment too much, go back to the basics and go back to what
Absolutely.
you used to do. But the point is, the times have also changed somewhat, and a lot of conventional wisdom that was passed on is not there in nuclear families, which is what gets me to the next question. And Vaishakhi, what do you recommend? Should oiling routines, as one would call it, that change with seasons as well, change with where you're living, what your age is? What are you recommending there to your folks?
I think definitely seasonal change is useful, but like ma'am rightly said, coconut oil is like a go-to for everybody. The thing is, like today in our lifestyle, we tend to work out a lot and then, we sweat, or maybe, in metropolitan cities, we are out in pollution. So those times are sometimes where you really need to be careful because when you're out in dust and pollution and you have applied any oil that's quite greasy, it will attract a lot more dust and pollution. And if it's not cleaned out on time, a lot of us tend to just tie it up in a bun and leave it for 2 3 days. So that sometimes can cause trouble. So seasonally, definitely you can change the oils, but the hair type becomes the most important here. But I think from the lifestyle perspective, it is way more important to understand. If you're an outgoing person, I would suggest that, just do it overnight. Don't probably step out in the dust and pollution, especially when you're working out, and sweat and oil may not work hand in hand. So it's important, like maybe you can apply it for about 2 hours, let the oil do its job, massage it, stimulate the hair growth, and then maybe just wash it out. But seasonally, yes, preferably humidity also matters. So things like that, like again what ma'am said, I fully agree that you need to ask your expert what works best for you, because it keeps on changing from time to time.
Okay, and
Yeah,
let's
even with
go
age,
over
yeah.
let's just go over to Radhika to ask her this. Then Radhika, you made a very beautiful point right in the beginning where you were talking a little bit about how we shouldn't forget, if you're alone, how to take care of yourself, because there is, as you said earlier, this sort of an entire tradition about your grandmother, your mother doing it to you. But if you are living alone, like today's nuclear families are, like a lot of us are, you should still indulge in it alone. Tell me something, Radhika, how would you actually advise to our audiences then? Are there videos that we should look at, for example, about how to oil? Even the kind of movement you're making on your head is so important. The areas in your head you're paying attention to. So what would be the basics there?
The basic is self-understanding and self-love. See, in the end, because I'm a little philosophical and spiritual in these matters, we've come alone, we got to go alone. Correct? Our journey is mostly alone. What goes on inside our internal environment is all alone. Nobody knows what's going on in your mind. You might be sitting in a room full of people, correct? In those cases, and you're seeing that there are a lot of mental issues, mental health is at a big, huge focus point as it should be. Oiling in all of this drama, oiling can really give you a very calm mind. And there is, remember that whole song that we have, Sar Jo Jara Chakraye, Dil Dooba Jaye. So the whole idea is to use either a friend or your parent or your own self, sit and determine that, twice a week in the night before I go to bed, take some oil, warm it up, and apply it. Tie a nice cloth around it, a cotton towel, go to sleep and see the difference. Not only will it calm down your brain, it'll bring down cortisol level in your mind. It'll also help good hormones. It's very important because once the mind is calm, a lot of oxygenated blood is happening in your scalp, in your body. You tend to just feel calm down. It's like taking a long, deep breath, you know. And you must practice it. Do not wait for others to do it because now this is the life. This is how it's going to be in the future. You have to take care of yourself. So I personally believe that when you oil regularly, you definitely get rid of stress. You definitely get rid of depression. You definitely start bonding with yourself. You definitely invigorate the doshas and bring them to balance each other. You remain grounded to the five elements because a simple task of oiling, even without your realizing it, is doing an immense amount of benefit to your body, both mentally, emotionally, and physically, right? As far as videos are
Right.
concerned, go to YouTube. There are
Yeah.
amazing content out there. Look at the number of views it has. See the one that you like the most. It's not rocket science, guys. And I always say this, Haath Kangan ko RC kya? Experiment, try it out. What's going to go wrong? So just allow yourself, indulge, and don't get bored. Don't sit with the phone and start scrolling. Don't just mindlessly watch a show. you know Even while you're doing that, be mindful that, okay, today is a falana day, I need to oil
Sure.
my hair. This is simple, these kind of
Sure.
things.
Sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Radhika, the way is approaching hair oiling is making me very relaxed even while just listening to her. So I must say this is a great conversation to have right at the beginning. But last few moments for us. So quick 2 points that I want Vaishakhi to make on the question of how often you should hair oil and the question of where all hair oiling is. I mean, there's a huge debate out there on whether you should be oiling your scalp or should you be oiling your root ends, because that's where split ends really are. So on both those points, your quick take, please.
I think when you talk about where to oil, of course, I would go for scalp a lot more than hair. And it also depends again on the hair type. But definitely, when you're applying it on the scalp, you're stimulating the blood circulation, the hair growth, and you're allowing your cells to be alive. So, and it's of course deep down in the roots. So, definitely, when you start off, it's more of the chumpy that happens on the scalp. And then about 10-15 minutes of a self massage, and then just run through your hands very gently on the hair. Do not rub the hair too much, I think. And again, it applies the same way for sensitized hair a lot more. If your hair doesn't have any kind of treatments, which is not very common these days, mostly everybody has something or the other done on the hair. So I would definitely say that you start off with a scalp, do about 15 minutes of a massage, get it done from somebody, or maybe just do it yourself, like ma'am said, and then run through
Sure.
gently your hands throughout the ends. And yeah, that's the easiest and the ideal way to massage the scalp
Sure.
and hair.
Sure. All right, so don't get very rigorous about it and be gentle with your hair and apply it. Change your oils with season if you need be, and also see what's working best for you. That are some of the key takeaways here. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us on this very fascinating, relaxing discussion that we've just had.